Okay. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of College Girl Boss. My name is Madeline Mayfield and welcome to this week's episode of College Girl Boss. We're going to talk about building confidence and unlocking the keys to your true potential. I have my very dear friend, Ali.
Hey everyone, my name is Ulweti Candice Lamini, but everyone calls me Ollie.
I'm going to move this up a little bit.
Okay. Do I have to give like an intro?
Yeah, so Ali, would you like to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I am a international student from sunny South Africa. I am 23 years old. I speak 3 languages, English, Afrikaans, and isiZulu. And I've been studying at SLU for the past 3 years. I'm a senior majoring in finance and I graduate next year, May. So excited.
Okay, do you want to say a little bit about how we met?
Oh yes, so Maddie and I met because we were both part of the organization called Women in Business, and she approached me actually.
Okay, I actually don't remember the story of how we met, so please.
Are you serious?
Yeah, please. I remember we met in Women in Business, and Ollie was always one of those people that would always show up.
Oh my gosh.
You would always come with Mickey.
Yes, I was actually thinking of Coptober, but that wasn't the first time we met. It was when they still had their meetings in the classroom, in classroom 14. And I don't know what we were doing. It was probably an icebreaker. And then everyone was going around trying to introduce themselves to, everyone, because we literally knew no one in there. And then, I met you, and obviously Mickey was there, and you were like, yeah, my name's Maddie, and I'm going to try and be one of the e-board members. And she did. She was our president.
Not initially, though.
Not initially.
Whew. Not initially, because the first time I ever went in front of people, I completely blacked out. And I was so nervous. If you would have met me, I probably was the weirdest, most shy person ever. And I bet you're thinking, oh, so you went from this really shy person to this person that has a podcast. They'd be like, what are your secrets? What are your tips?
Yeah. What are your tips?
I've seen a lot of growth in Ollie too. Ollie, I think you were a little shy too.
I do have a bit of shyness in me. I think when I'm in a new environment, surrounded by new people, it takes me a while to be really comfortable.
Yeah.
And to really show my personality. So a lot of times people usually see me and they think I'm very, standoffish because I don't smile. I usually look very, I would say miserable, or just have a straight face.
Okay, but I always have an RBF.
Same.
If you see me at school,
the word I was looking for.
I have an RBF, and I'm actually the most person you've ever met.
Yeah, and a lot of us people who have RBFs, we get judged pretty easily, but we're actually very nice.
Do you ever have a time where you just feel like you're not good enough, or you just doubt your abilities to do well in school or to succeed?
Sorry, I'm laughing because this happens all the time.
Well, I think it's really relatable.
Yeah, I feel especially when you're in university, I remember the first time I ever heard of the word imposter syndrome, and I think that's something that this correlates to. When you are sitting in your lectures and a professor is, talking and it sounds like they are speaking in another language, it can be pretty scary, and it's so intimidating because I'll be sitting there and I'm like, what am I doing here? I do not understand all this. I feel so stupid. I feel I cannot, achieve what I want to achieve, and it really makes me doubt myself. So, yeah, I would say it happens quite a lot in university, which is sad, but yeah.
And do you consider yourself a capable person? Somebody that can do it?
Yeah, I would say that I am a capable person, but sometimes, you just need a little pep talk. I think the person who really reminds me that I am someone who's capable of, reaching my goals is my mom. She's always my affirmation in my ear, my little angel over here. And you?
Yeah, so I try to remind myself There was a time where I really faced imposter syndrome, and I did not think I was good enough. And I think that just understanding that nobody is perfect. I'm a perfectionist. I asked Ollie one time, I was like, what do you think my biggest thing is that I could really work on? And she was like, well, you try to do everything yourself. And I think that was a large part of my struggle, was that I was trying to do everything myself and still hold this persona of being perfect, when in fact, nobody is perfect.
No one's perfect.
And it's okay to make mistakes. And I embarrass myself on the daily.
I'm laughing because you just quoted Hannah Montana. Nobody's perfect. It's okay to make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
No, but that's such valid advice, because you're not gonna be perfect. And I think that after you get past the fear of making a fool of yourself, I think that you can really excel and find that motivation within yourself to say, okay, nobody's gonna judge me if I go to the gym by myself.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna judge me if I go eat at a restaurant by myself. You know, like, it's just growth.
Yeah.
And if they do judge you,
shame on them.
yes, I was gonna say something else, but shame on them. So, what is confidence? Okay, in your own words, how would you describe confidence?
I would say being confident is being comfortable in who you are, actually. Like, and to put it in the most like simplest terms, that is what confidence really is. To me.
Yeah.
And you?
Confidence is the belief in your own abilities, decisions, and worth. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily arrogant, because I think that there's a fine line between being too cocky and being really confident.
Yeah, there is. A lot of people get that confused. It's okay to be confident, but when you're too cocky, it's like, tone it down a bit.
Yeah. So confidence doesn't mean that you think that you're better than everyone. It means that you know that you can achieve it, that you can do it, that you can get there.
Yeah, it's about being comfortable and
Yeah.
like your abilities and what you can do. I like that one. And just being confident in who you are. I feel like it also comes in with like what you stand for, your morals, your beliefs. If you're very confident in that, it shows on the outside as well.
Yeah, that is so true. I think that, like, when you're confident, just your body language is really impressive. Like, you can walk in a room and people just stop and stare at you, or they just see you and they think, oh, wow. Like, she knows what she wants. She's going after what she wants.
Yeah.
And you just come off as this really impressive person.
Why confidence matters.
Okay. Do you speak up in class?
You know what? I actually don't. And I don't think I've ever been like the kind of person who will speak up in class unless I'm 100% confident that what I'm about to say is like correct.
Yeah.
And I've been like that my whole life, really. Even if I know the answer, I'll say it in my head, but I don't want to say it out loud, because next thing I know, the teacher's going to be like, well, you're there, but not exactly there. And it's like, oh, let me put my hand down.
Is there somebody in your class, or not that question. Do you think that you should speak up more in class?
This is a good one. Well, it depends. I feel like, I don't know, if like, it depends on the situation of the class. But actually, I do feel like I should speak up more in class, especially because I'll be confused about a certain topic or subject, like the professor's going over, and I'll just sit there in my little confusion bubble instead of actually raising my hand and being like, excuse me, please can you repeat this again? So, and I think that would have helped me, going forward, instead of like going into studying and not necessarily knowing what the certain topic is, where I could have actually asked my professor and he would have been able to help me. So, yeah.
I think that everyone can speak up a little bit more. there's always this stigma when you're in class where it's like, especially when you're in a class of 30 or 40 people. I can imagine being at LSU having a class of 100 people.
Oh, I would never.
That would stress me out. I do feel more comfortable speaking up because our classes are so much smaller. We had like 5 people there. Like we have a class of like 10 people, and so we had only half the class there, and we were doing a discussion today. So I did feel really comfortable because, I mean, 3 of the people were the people in my group. And then this one guy I'm already friends with. So it was a very, very small class. But I think that like you said, you can gain a lot. If you are confused on something, definitely speak up. And the more times you raise your hand and ask a question, the more times you'll be comfortable. Because, I mean, like we talked about earlier, like being in the gym, nobody's going to judge you because they probably have the exact same question as you. And I say stupid stuff in class sometimes. And the only person that's embarrassed is me for like 2 seconds. And most people just laugh and we move on with the lecture. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Yeah, I like that, what you said about the only person who's embarrassed is like you. And I feel like that goes literally into all of life.
No, really though. I mean, I really do something that embarrasses me every day. Like I tripped and hurt my hand.
I was so
But
embarrassed.
guess what? We get up and we walk it off like the confident girl bosses we are. Okay. Has there ever been a time where you just felt really embarrassed, like in a networking situation?
In a networking situation, like really, really embarrassed. I would say kind of. More so just like, I feel I'm not that comfortable with networking, so because I think it's a very like new concept to, you know, young adults, and it's very scary. It's a nerve-wracking thing to be there speaking to professionals, and here you come as like a 21-year-old and you're speaking to them, and it can be like so scary because I'm like, what am I doing here? The most embarrassing thing for me that's happened is just that, you know, I forgot what they were saying to me, and I feel like that's really bad. So they were talking, but I wasn't really paying attention. And that's like embarrassing for me because then I repeated a question that they had already said, you know, showing that I wasn't listening.
So you were just kind of mentally checked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that confidence too is really about being in the present and just standing up tall. Like Rihanna always says,
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay if you don't have confidence because confident people are not confident in every single moment. But they still stand up tall and project their voice and speak with the confidence.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna dive into some practical strategies that you can adopt today to be a more confident individual, a more confident girl boss. All right. The first practical strategy is to focus on the strengths, not the weaknesses.
The tip is to take inventory of your strengths. So like, what are you good at? What have you succeeded in before? Do you want to give an example of that?
Yes. I would always tear myself down because if it wasn't to the standard that I thought was good enough, then I would just absolutely let it crumble. But in reality, I would have people that are like, no, you did this or you did this. You need to take the good that happened from it and not focus so much on the bad, because it's very easy, especially with social media and comparison. It's easy for you to think that you're not good enough based on the weaknesses you have.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to like, you know, start like affirming yourself, affirming in your abilities, your capabilities. You know, I know my mom, she does it with my sister every night. It's the cutest thing ever. They'll be like, you know, I am beautiful, I am smart. And you know, there's like, it's things like that can actually really help you boost your confidence. So
yes, I am such a firm. Hold on, I lost my page over here.
Oh yeah.
I'm such a firm believer in positive self-talk, a little bit of manifestation, and I do have an affirmation app. And let me tell you, it makes all the difference to just talk to yourself and just reframe your mindset. So if you didn't go to the gym one day, okay, and you ate like crazy amounts of calories or carbs, like we all do sometimes, you say, okay, instead of like, oh my gosh, I failed, I messed up, you take it as, okay, I ate extra, so I'll have extra fuel for my next workout tomorrow. And just reframing your mindset to not talk down to yourself, but to build yourself up and empower yourself.
I love that. But that is so hard to do. Like, rewiring your brain is actually a really difficult thing, in my opinion, to do, especially when you're used to, like, you know, very negative talk, like the remuneration of negative self-talk.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but I think that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, the more you expose yourself, the better you'll be at being more confident at saying, I am good enough. Look in the mirror today. Look in the mirror today when you get a second and just say, okay, you're great, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're good enough today. Just like your mom says to your sister.
I like that. And then also, like, you guys can make a list of accomplishments that, you know, you have accomplished in your life, just to remind yourself that you are capable of achieving these things. Aww. Number 2. All
right. The next step in practical strategies is to step out of your comfort zone. All right, so just like you said, you're afraid to ask questions in class. That needs to be your number 1.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I promise that I will try my hardest to do that this week. Maybe tomorrow, because I have class. I'll probably ask.
You better send me a text that says, I asked a question in class. And it's a form of exposure therapy to do something that scares you. This podcast absolutely terrifies me, but I think that the benefits greatly outweigh my fear of the unknown. And as somebody with anxiety and anxiety-like tendencies, it's very easy for me to be scared and kind of put myself in a box. And like the person, the confident person I want to be, I'm like, why do I put myself in a box? I need to just tear the box open and I need to say, okay, I'm going to do this today.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do this. And whatever slightly terrifies you, but do like, whatever slightly terrifies you, but you know it's good for you, absolutely do it.
Yeah. Like stepping outside of your comfort zone is like really important, especially just for like personal growth. I think, you know, we all hear that if you want to be the greatest version of who you are, is like you need to step outside of your comfort zone. And it's like, it can be like small little baby steps that you start with. I know for me, one of my things was, oh my gosh, let me take myself on a solo date. I was so scared to do that at first because I thought people were going to look at me and be like, oh my gosh, she's such a loser, like here she is at a restaurant by herself. That really went through my head. I was like, they're gonna be like, oh, why is she here by herself? Does she have like no friends? And then like once you get out of that mindset, like you'll realize that no one actually cares about you like that. You know, people have their own lives, so when you are at a place like that, no one is really paying attention to you, so it's all in your head. So
yeah, absolutely,
do it.
Okay, all right, so I challenge you to step out of your comfort zone and really do something that's beneficial for you to build that confidence in yourself.
Exactly.
Another tip is to prepare and practice. If you know you're going to a networking event, then you should practice with your friends, record yourself, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you are.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, you guys.
That's a good one. Practice does make perfect. Another positive strategy is to surround yourself with positive people and confident people. They always say that you are the average of your 3 to 5 friends. So whoever you want to be, surround yourself with people who are going to really affirm those behaviors and those actions.
That is very true. I can attest to that. Like, I think growing up, we used to think our parents were like lying, or not necessarily lying, but you know, and they'd be like, show me your friends and you see your future. Something like that. You know that
show
saying?
Me your friends, I show you your future.
Yeah, so it's very important that, you know, you have friends that are not like bringing you down or, you know, are very negative people, because, you know, that will affect you as well. So it's important, you know, to surround yourself with people who are positive, people who are, what's the word that starts with the A?
Affirm.
No.
The attitude?
Ambitious. There we go.
Oh, okay.
You know, people that are ambitious, people that like will speak positivity into your life, even if it's like the most simplest thing. Like you see a quote and you're like, oh my gosh, I saw this quote, it made me think of you. Like, I love it when people do that, or when they send me positive videos about like, you know, you will be great in life. Like, you know, it's fine. All things will work out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Share positivity, guys.
That's a really good one. The next and final practical strategy that you can adopt is a positive body language and the way that you present yourself. Like we said earlier, fake it till you make it. So acting confident can be the best indicator of someone who's confident. So really just adopt that body language where you're sitting up tall, you're focusing on the eye contact, you're not fidgeting, you're not slouching. You're not fidgeting, you're not slouching. Even if you really want to, a firm handshake, that can be a great indicator of someone who is confident. And you will also signal this to others when you do these things.
Yeah, it's very important, especially because like I feel like in today's society, people don't want to admit it, but guys, your appearance is basically your currency. People would treat you how you appear. And the first thing people see about you is your appearance. So, you know, you not only need to walk the walk, but you need to like, you know, talk the talk as well. You need to dress the part so that people can address you based on how you are dressed, you know. And you can fake it till you make it, baby. You know, that walk, make sure it's giving sass. I'm joking. But yeah, like, you know, it's very important that your body language is very positive as well. Like, unless you're like me, I really struggle with like looking at people in the eyes because I hate it so much. It feels way too intimate for me. I feel like you're staring deep into my soul. And especially because I'm taller than most of my friends, I usually look like above or on the side. It's so bad. I'm trying to work on it. I really am. If I'm with a professional or an adult, I do look at them in the eyes, but someone my age, I'll be like, no.
Oh, I feel like I'm the opposite, and I have blue eyes, so I feel like I'm the one staring into people's soul. Like, I have to remind myself to look away. Here are some ways to overcome the setbacks and to affirm that confidence in yourself. The first is to embrace failure as a growth opportunity.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard this before?
All the time. I think I hear it like all the time, whether it's from like my professors. I hear it from my mom as well. And just like, I think a lot of people in my life always reaffirm that making a mistake is not the end of the world. Although it feels like it at that moment in time, like it will get better. And I always tell myself, if I, you know, like if I fail an exam, not fail, but if I don't get the marks that I want, I'll be like, okay, well, you know, there's no point in crying over spilled milk. Like what's done is done. All you can do now is just make sure that on the next one you do better. So yeah, and failure is actually important because I think it helps build character in a way.
I think that it also teaches you a lot about yourself. And it's really just shaping that mindset, because some of the biggest names, Jeff Bezos, Oprah Winfrey, they have tremendously failed, and that failure has catapulted them into this new realm of success and wealth and stardom. So I think that it's important to just continue to be consistent, and it's okay to be down for a little bit, but pick yourself back up and get it, girl boss.
Yeah, give yourself that pep talk.
Yeah, another great thing is just being resilient. Piggybacking off of what we said earlier about affirmations, you are good enough, and you need to speak that to yourself, because if you truly believe that you're good enough, you are good enough. Yeah. And if you don't think that you are good enough, you're not good enough to yourself. And I think that sometimes you are your most important judge of your life and your character. So if you're not happy, you're not happy with you're not going to be happy.
Yeah, I also think, for me, I always remind myself that it's my first time living life. Everyone's first time living life. There's no rule book on how we are supposed to do things. No one really knows what they're doing. We're all just winging it. So I'm just gonna wing it for a very long time. I'm gonna remind myself that you're still learning, you're still growing, and this is your first time being alive. I think that's a very important thing to kind of remind yourself, because you will want to compare yourself to other people, but it's also their first time being alive. So be easy on yourself, but also learn how to love yourself.
Oh, that's so cute. So if you had to take away one really important lesson from today's podcast, what would be the one thing that you reiterate and ask the viewers or yourself to do today? So what would be the one thing that you would want to... What is the one thing that viewers should take away from this podcast and do today?
I would say the reaffirming yourself. And I say this because my therapist also told me to do it. Positive affirmations in your life are very, very important. People have studied that this is actually important, and it will help rewire your brain. When you start telling yourself these things, your brain will start to believe it, you'll start to act like it. So it's really important that you do practice affirmations, because it can have a major impact on your life. You can go from being a very negative person to becoming a very positive person. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's practice and constant, kind of you're feeding into yourself. How you water a plant, you gotta water yourself.
Oh, you're watering yourself.
Yeah,
that's so cute. Oh no, you have to water your positivity plant. Water it. All right, so I challenge you to start small. Look at yourself in the mirror today and say, I am great. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. Whatever you want to be, speak that into yourself and tell yourself that you are good enough today, because you are, girl boss. Yeah. You are good enough. And I just need you to believe it for yourself.
Exactly. And also remember... I was going to say, remember, you are a child of God, so God made you in His image, so that should also be quite a lot for you to, it should mean something,
Also challenge you to do something that scares you, so whether it's speaking up in class, saying hi to that person in the hallway, that one little step might be a huge confidence boost, and it might teach you a lot about yourself. I'd love to know if you have any confidence tips that I should have shared in this video. Podcast episodes are released every Wednesday. I want to say thank you so much to Ali for being a guest today.
Thanks for having me. I had so much fun.
And as always, thank you for watching, Girl Bosses, and I'm so excited to start this journey with you.